Hey, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Beautiful podcast. I'm your host, Erica, and we are here with the beautiful Kiandra, who is so stunning.
Thank you. So
Yes, I actually met her through a good friend. I'm like, I'm going to be in town, and I need some influential, empowering, really just amazing women. And you were one who came up. So I did a little research. Yes, but I would love for you to introduce yourself to the people. Let us know who you are and what you do.
Okay, well, I'm Kiandra Richardson. Everybody calls me Kiki. I'm a singer and an actress. I have toured with Beyonce and Jay-Z. I've done Coachella with Beyonce. I act as well. I sing and act on the show called Kingdom Business currently. I play CJ Jordan, which is Danita Jordan's daughter, which is Yolanda Adams. And I've also been on Empire. I played Lucius Lyon's love interest at one point. So I've kind of been all over the place doing all the things. That's me.
Wow, amazing. Yeah, wow. So, okay, let's get into it, right? Now I had some acting experience back in my day.
Come on.
But acting is one of those things,
Yeah.
right? It's like you started, but you have to really push through because the results are not instant.
Right.
I mean, for some people, we hear those like magical stories, like I went for my first role and I landed it. And now I'm Denzel Washington.
Right.
But in reality,
It's not like that.
okay. So tell us how it is in real life. Like, how did you come to be this great powerhouse? I mean, you named so many shows and so many things that you've done, and that's so amazing. So how was that journey for you?
It's one of extreme faith, I will say. My journey has been one where God has really placed everything in order for me.
Yeah.
And so I can't say that I've done any of it. I just was ready to walk through the door, really. But it took a lot of preparation. It took a lot of time, a lot of tears, a lot of questioning, like, is this for me? Am I supposed to be doing this?
Right.
Because I thought I was supposed to be famous at 16 like Chris Brown, and I wasn't. So I'm
That's
like,
real.
what's happening?
Yeah.
But I learned how to surrender in that. I learned how to surrender my timeline, my plan, my thoughts of how things are supposed to go. And I learned to and I'm still learning, honestly, to just let God be God and let God put the pieces together for me. He knows my desires. He knows what I want to do.
Right.
And luckily, he's been orchestrating it better than I could have
Right.
journaled about, better than I could have, vision boarded about,
Right.
But he's really been orchestrated. So it's just been faith.
Yeah.
It's been faith, having faith.
So how'd you get started?
So let's see, how did I get started? So I started singing at 5, of course, but fast forward to graduating from college, I started recording in the studios, and it was okay for a second, but then after a while, nothing was really happening. And I'm not the biggest fan of reality TV, but I ended up auditioning for American Idol, and I got the golden ticket. And so I was going to go to Hollywood. My plan was to get the golden ticket, go to Hollywood, get as far as I could on
American Idol.
American Idol, and hopefully get a fan base and then get out of
Take
there.
off.
Yeah. But I ended up getting a call from B.B. Winans because he was doing a musical at the time about his life. And he wanted someone to play Whitney.
Okay.
And I had auditioned, and they were like, oh, we want you to play it. And I
Yeah.
was like, but I got to
See
go to
that.
Hollywood.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
So I was like, but I have to go to Hollywood. So I was, going back and forth and, oh my gosh, crying, praying, and crying and praying and crying and praying. And I said, Father, which should I do?
Yeah.
And I felt like I was led to do the musical. And so I
Yeah.
ended up playing Whitney Houston, and I went to D.C. with that, and we did it here in Atlanta. We did it in Los Angeles. And once we went there, I decided to stay in Los Angeles. And I said, I'm going to have to make this work.
Yeah.
Because I put all my stuff in storage back here in Atlanta, put it in storage, said I'm going to go to LA and I'm going to make this work.
Yeah.
And so it took about 7 months of me trying to get on my feet for me to get on my feet.
Yeah.
And that was my first time actually dealing with depression. What I thought was depression. I had never felt that before.
Right.
Because I didn't want to go back home because I'm
The
like,
struggle was real.
yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't go back home. I don't want to disappoint
Right.
people, and I don't want to disappoint myself. But I was so just kind of lost. I didn't know what to do. And it's important to keep your spirits high when depression comes along, or when you don't know what to do. It's important to keep your spirits high because it's energetic. You don't want to attract more things
That's
that
right.
exist in that realm of sorrow or sadness or confusion, or
Yeah. For sure.
And so I went home, I saw my family, and then I ended up getting a call to do Tyler, the Creator's Tiny Desk.
Yeah.
And from there, it was just off to the races.
Oh my
Beyonce
gosh.
came after, Kanye came after, TV came after that. So that was
Wow.
that.
Okay. Quite the journey.
That was a mouthful.
No, it's amazing. I love learning about you.
Yeah.
And I'm just living vicariously through you, okay? Because I was one of those people that put acting to the side.
Yeah.
It's my love, it's my passion, but it wasn't my reality, okay? I grew up in LA. So,
Oh, right.
right. So you got to see we all went to, well, most of us went to like performing arts schools, and we were lead roles in some of these, performances and things
Right.
like that. And that's where you really got your vision together of, I want to be an actress and this is reality. And guess what? Some of my friends were like on commercials. Like I remember, I'll never forget. Shout out to you, Ryan. I know you're going to see this. She was on a Barbie commercial.
Come on, Barbie.
I was so jealous. I was like, oh my God, Mom, what kind of mother are you? How come I'm not in a Barbie
Why am
commercial?
I not there?
Imagine that at like in the second grade,
Yeah.
and your classmate is
Oh,
in,
y'all were young.
baby. When you're growing up in Hollywood, this is the reality.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to school with celebrity kids. You're going to school with people who are getting these roles, who are
Right.
actively, some of us went to the same acting class after school, right? And that's the difference. Like a lot of people are like, well, what's the difference? I mean, maybe New York, I don't know much about New York, but in LA, it's very common for you to pursue your dreams and careers. That's why, growing up, a lot of people moved and relocated there to pursue their dreams because that was the hub, that was the epicenter of acting and modeling and all of those things in the industry. But I was one of those people who had to decide, like, am I going to go for the practical thing, which is college, so that I can provide for myself, or am I going to be a dream chaser and embrace all of the ebbs and flows that comes with it?
Because it's a lot of them.
Oh, I know. And that's why it was important and in alignment with me to connect with you, because this is still a dream, but I'm still asleep. Right? But I want to speak to a couple things. You spoke about, having to make this decision between American Idol and touring. How did you get your confirmation?
Yeah, so it's probably going to sound a little juvenile, but I prayed for a sign.
Okay.
I prayed for a sign, very simple sign, letters. I was like, okay, B or A.
Yeah.
It's literally me and my friend Sheena, my best friend Sheena, we went to Publix and we asked like 3 people to choose B or A. And what's crazy is there's a story in the Bible about someone named Gideon, I believe, who also asked God for signs. Like, if this is you talking to me, do this.
Yeah.
Let this be here in the morning, or let me see this in the morning. And God honored that, right? And showed him a sign. And so that's where I got that from, and was like, all right, Father, if it's this or if it's that, I need a clear sign, B or A. And I asked a few people, and they chose B. Ironically, they all chose B.
Hey, you guys, it's your host, Erica. And I just wanted to thank you for making it this far to the beautiful podcast. You guys, this is a place where you come to get inspiration, motivation, and really just to learn how to be you to the fullest. That is really where true beauty comes from. And because you guys have been here supporting this long, I want to give you guys a little gift. So if you go to my site, I want you to type in BU10 to get a good discount on my shirt, My Man, My Man, My Man, My God. And this is just a reminder to always depend on the source for all of the goodness and fulfillment that you want to have in your life. All right, you guys, thank you again, and back to the episode.
And
that was behind B.
Yeah, it was BB, yeah.
Yeah. And so once you were obedient, because sometimes it's easy to hear the answer, follow,
And turn around.
okay, right? We're being real. You turn around, or you get cold feet, or you feel like, dang, I feel regret because I should have done da-da-da, right?
Yeah.
So how did you navigate standing firm on the decision, knowing that you didn't make it on your own?
Yeah, I ask for comfort. When I ask for those types of things, I ask God to also give me comfort with it. And I knew deep down I really didn't want to do reality TV.
Okay.
You know, that was the initial thing. I didn't want to, but nothing else was going on at the time. And so God gave me comfort about it. Now, the road to, you know, playing Whitney Houston and things like that, that wasn't simple. It wasn't easy at all.
Yeah.
It's nerve-wracking, actually.
Yeah.
But I still had a peace and a comfort about it.
Yeah.
I didn't feel regret, you know, at all. So.
And so when you were playing an iconic role like Whitney Houston,
Yes.
I can imagine immense pressure because she's such
Everybody
an
loves her.
icon. Yeah. Even, I mean, come on, everybody loves
Yes.
Whitney. It's like it's like
People don't
Whitney,
play.
Michael. Like,
Yeah, they don't play about those types of people. They don't play.
So what's like the funniest story that you have about playing Whitney Houston?
The funniest? Oh, dear. Okay. I do remember a time where I went on stage and, you know, Whitney has these little runs, like these little Whitney iconic runs that she does.
We're not going to try them.
You know, she has these runs. And there's a moment where I go out on stage and I'm talking to the guy who plays BB. And I walk out doing like one of those little runs, right? And I practice these so much that I can nail them every time. But this one particular night, baby, that thing did not come out. It didn't come out.
Okay.
And I go out on stage. I try to do the run. Everyone knows that it was an attempt. So first of all, I bomb on that run. All my castmates that are ready to come on stage behind me are over in the wings cracking up. Like when I walked off stage, they were cracking up and I was cracking up. And you could hear some of the people in the audience also chuckling.
They caught it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They caught it.
So I was like, well, let's work on that and make sure that doesn't
And that's
happen
funny
anymore.
because a lot of people say like, oh, you can make a mistake. We don't know that you're making a mistake. But at that moment,
They know. They knew, they heard,
Right.
we saw, they laughed,
Yeah.
and I just had to deal
Right.
with it. Yeah.
So in that same, same space, how do you deal with rejection? When you're in Hollywood and you're auditioning, I know this firsthand, you can get a lot of no's.
Absolutely.
You can get a lot of no's, way more no's than you get yes.
Yeah.
And when I say no's, I mean like denial for the roles, not getting a call back, being told pretty like crass things about yourself.
Yeah.
They don't hold back in Hollywood.
It's a harsh
It
business.
is. So how do you maintain your confidence in that situation?
That's something I'm actually actively working through now because
bet.
I'd still get no's. You know, you never know why you're getting a no,
sure.
but I still get no's. And I've noticed that it can sometimes dampen your faith. You may get an audition and then you're like, oh, boom, I'm perfect for this. This is great. I can do this, you know, whatever. And then there's a following thought that's just like, well, you didn't get the last one or the last two. You know, you didn't get that one. So don't get too excited. Don't get your hopes up.
Right.
Right? Like, and it can dampen your faith some. So I'm actively in a space now where I have to speak to those thoughts that are like, you know, don't get too excited. You may not get it. I have to speak to those things and say, what's for me is for me. If God has promised it, it's going to happen. If God has spoken it, it's going to happen. If God doesn't let me have this, it's not for me. And as long as I know that I'm working on myself as an actor, working on my skills and making sure that I'm showing up, you know, as the best that I can be, everything else is out of my hands.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We still have to do our part.
Right.
You know, even though God promises, we still have to do our part and meet him, you know, with our work, right? Faith without works is dead. So we have to meet him with our work. But if nothing happens after that, you just trust.
You accept it, right?
Yeah, you trust that God still orchestrates your path the way it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
So everything is going how it's supposed to, even when you don't get it.
I want to speak to that a bit because one of the things that I've just picked up is that no, to me, now stands for new opportunity.
Absolutely.
Meaning that when God says no to something, I don't look at it. I stop looking at a no as punishment.
Woo!
And I start
That's a
looking
good
at it as
word.
protection.
That's good.
you know, because, and I know that, so like these things can be very cliche, but it's really about your mindset and it's really about your belief. Because if I believe that, I'm going to act like that. I'm going to trust like that. I'm going to react like that. Right? Some people say these things and they don't believe them. And that's the thing when it comes to the faith and the works being dead. It's like your faith is saying one thing, but you're not acting like you believe what you have faith in.
That's good.
You get what I'm saying?
You have to
so
believe,
that's a thing for me that I've really just started to act like live my life by. Like this is just a new opportunity. I'm able to pivot and move forward and do what I need to do in whatever situation that is either an open door, closed door, or a not right now door.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And God can also prepare you with those no's.
Yeah.
He can also put you in a place where you get to reflect on yourself. Okay, how can I be better? Because sometimes we can get real comfortable in what we're doing and comfortable in our skills. You know, you're talented. Boom. It's like, yeah, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to knock this out. And we're not studying like we should be. We're not practicing like we should be. I'm guilty of that as well, you know. But sometimes God allows those closed doors to say, hey, get prepared.
Right. Get ready.
Get ready.
Yeah.
Go and practice. Go and work on these skills. Yeah.
And I had to also learn that as well. Like there were certain things that I wanted, but I did not prepare or I wasn't ready to receive them. And then you're looking like, why haven't I gotten this blessing yet? And it's like, well, because you're not a good steward yet. Woo! You're not able to nurture and care for this certain thing, right? Even the platform we're on right now, like if I would have done this podcast any time before now, I went through a breakup that was life-changing. Yeah. So I can only imagine like how it would have, you know, I had to move twice. Yeah. And I'm like, how would I be able to navigate that in this
different space, a different emotion
and
space.
all of your emotions when you're on camera, they show up, right? Yeah. I mean, you as an actress, you know, you've experienced those days where you have to literally not bring work or not bring your personal life to work, right? Yes. So what are some ways that you navigate that? Like, what are some ways that you make sure that when you're on camera, you can still bring your best work, right? Without real life interfering?
I use it sometimes. It depends. It depends on what it is. If it's something that I can use in my work, then I'll use it. Because with acting and even with singing, sometimes it's a lot of emoting that has to happen.
Okay.
You're storytelling. You are, you know, just expressing emotion. And a lot of times instead of blocking it, you know, it's better to just take that and use it in whatever scene or whatever song you're singing.
Like repurpose it.
You know, it's like, because it's energetic. It's just energetic.
That's the truth.
Either way it goes. So you can take that and harness it, right? And then use it for the work. So I haven't had many situations where I've had to go to work and I just like really had to keep a situation back at home. Yeah. But I remember I was also dealing with a breakup and I was having to show up for work and I was having to cry and be emotional. And luckily for me, I was able to take what I was already feeling and just to harness it and use it in the work.
Yeah, I love that. Since we're on the topic, how has dating been for you?
Woo! Is that the topic we're on?
It's a topic. How has dating been for you in this industry?
Dating has been, okay, so I'm very to myself most of the time. Okay. But I made a choice at the end of last year into this year to just date. Like lightly, right? To just date, to meet people.
We're demure girls. We get it.
Very demure. But I've just kind of been meeting people and dating. Right. And it's actually been a lot of fun, but it becomes hard when people are looking for their wives. And I'm more so in a space of just lightly meeting people.
We're casual.
We're casual right now because I've never done that. And I've found that it's a little difficult when people are like, okay, well, I like this. Buddy. Let's keep this going. And I'm like,
I got things to do.
Not right now.
Yeah.
I'm more so focused.
I love that. That's so empowering because we're used to hearing the opposite.
Yeah, the people are like wanting to get married.
Everybody, right? We're coming out of that space and I cannot be prouder. Yeah. Okay?
Yeah.
Not that I don't believe in marriage. I absolutely do. I love it. I definitely encourage it. But what we have to do is it's not about decentering men. It's about decentering relationships. It's about decentering validation from outward themes, right? A lot of women that I mentor or talk to, they look at marriage or they look at relationships as something that validates them as a woman. Yes. Like if I'm wanted, that means I'm good. And if I'm not desired because I don't have a mate, then I'm not
something's
good.
wrong.
Something's wrong,
Yeah.
right? And I think we're just stepping into a different power where we're finding fulfillment and validation in ourselves, right?
Yes.
And that's what it sounds like. This is very healthy. And this is something, I mean, you genuinely, truly exude happiness, right?
Yeah, because I enjoy it. I
Yeah.
enjoy being single. I enjoy my space, my time. And I actually think it's helping me to prepare myself for showing up when it is that time.
Okay.
For me to be married, because a lot of times we have this image that society puts on us, like, okay, you need to be married. Like, by this time, you should be doing this and doing this,
Or
and you
else
should be married.
something's wrong.
But it's like, why would I approach it like that? Why wouldn't I prep myself to be the best that I can be when it's time for me to be married? You know, right now, I know I still have some emotional things I need to work on. Okay, how do I problem solve?
Right.
So you get to look at these things when you spend time with yourself.
Yeah.
You get to really evaluate and cleanse some things out, you know, that could be issues in your relationship.
for
Don't
sure.
rush. Don't rush to do things just because we think that's what we should be doing.
Right. And I think also it's very codependent, right?
Yeah.
Like I want to find the person that can solve my problems.
Woo!
I want to find the person that can make me feel better, right?
It's
Who
just
can
never
heal
gonna
me.
be like that.
And sometimes we don't notice that we're doing it because I meet really genuinely sweet people
Yeah.
who just have some toxic traits. Okay. And I am not perfect, right? But I do practice self-reflecting.
Yeah.
And I have been able to help people because I've seen some of these qualities in me that I've had to check
Yeah.
and, uproot.
Absolutely.
So I speak to it, not as a speaking at anybody who may be going through this, but just as take a moment to see if these are some of the practices that have been hindering you from having a healthier relationship with yourself and then other people.
Absolutely.
And so I wanted to ask also, as somebody who has a following, who is in the limelight, who works alongside other actresses and models, and
Yeah.
you're just in a different world, girl. Like,
Yeah.
what is it like navigating that space? Like, how do you still find, is it normalcy? Normality? One of those words. We're scholars. We'll figure it out. But how do you navigate that? How do you still feel, normal?
Honestly, I am from Warner Robins, Georgia. Okay, so I'm from the country, and that's still in me. Amen. So I will journal throughout the day. I will go and take my lawn chair out of my trunk and go sit it in a patch of grass somewhere and just like my life is I've cultivated a peaceful routine for my life. I don't really get wrapped up in a lot of industry things. I really don't. And I think it's important to kind of keep that balance of not getting wrapped up in industry things, because you can find yourself like, why am I not doing this? Or why am I not there? Or, friend circles or like circles of people and things like that. I literally make it a point to kind of keep myself away from those things and just focus on the work.
So it sounds like you said, practice a healthy boundary, and do the things that fulfill you as you are being yourself.
Right.
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 And so are your friends in the industry? Are they not?
Yeah, I got like 5 friends, like really good friends that I can count on my hand. And all of them are in the industry. Some of them are actors, some are singers, some are in the production side, and musicians.
Nice. Okay. Now let me ask you, I hope this is not controversial, but what was your favorite role
that I've done so far? Which is my favorite? I would have to say probably Yana on Empire. It was my first one, so I wasn't as comfortable in it. But I got to sing. I got to sing so much, and I got to learn so much, like doing that show. I sang a whole bunch, and I really enjoyed being able to act and sing. So I would say that's probably my favorite one so far. She was, she became like this popular singer after a while, so it was fun kind of living that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like your story.
Yeah.
It's your story.
It kind of is.
It is. I love that.
I was enjoying it.
Yeah. And so throughout your journey, is there a certain person that you would say is like a mentor for you, or someone that you lean onto for any like guidance or support?
Yeah, there are a couple of people that I call on. One person I will say, his name is Ron Gilliard. He's a very connected, and he's just extremely connected, really well known in the entertainment industry altogether. And I met him when I was doing Born for This with BB Winans.
Okay.
And he's kind of been like this big brother uncle that if I need anything, I can call him and he'll give me the straight. He'll give it to me just straightforward, no chaser. I think that's what they say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm actually very thankful for him. So he came to mind first when he said mentors.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Be Beautiful podcast, where we talk all things candid and motivational. Experience shares all the good things to help you be you to the fullest. You guys, I just wanted to shout out Ritzy Girl, who sponsored this look. Aren't the earrings just beautiful, right? This ensemble here, it's just giving. Make sure you guys type in BU15 on the Ritzy Girls website that I'm going to link below so you can get your special discount. Back to the show. So you talked about coming to LA, and in LA you had a struggle season.
Oh, yes.
And it just reminds me, I mean, you worked with Taraji, right? And I remember her story of coming to LA, having a struggle season, and it working out for her, right? So 2 questions. One, what was your struggle season like during that 7 months that you were in LA trying to make it happen? And have you guys ever had that conversation, you and Taraji or anybody in the industry?
About the struggle season? She and I didn't. We didn't have that conversation. I did have some conversations with Terrence Howard, and he really gave me a lot of gems for me to take forward, into my career.
Well, Cheryl would assist.
Yeah, he definitely just kind of told me about standing up for myself as far as an actor. You have agents and managers and, production companies and people, they pretty much do what they want. You know what I mean? And we don't know sometimes that we have the power, one, to say no. We have the power to choose what it is that we want. You can't act or think that you are desperate for anything.
Wow.
Because you're not. If you're there, you're meant to be there. So you have to kind of own that. And at the time, like I said, I was so new on Empire. So he could see that I was just kind of going with whatever the people were saying and doing whatever they were saying do. But he just showed me you have to stand up for yourself.
Did he pull you aside?
It was sometimes when we are being taken home or, sometimes they drive us to different places, I would just ask questions. I'm like, and so what would you say to somebody who is like just starting? And he kind of gave me those types of gems, even like with managing money, like, you can't support everybody.
Okay.
When you get money, you can't just give all your money away. You know what I mean? You have to watch those type of things. People will come at you and say, hey, can I borrow this? Can I borrow that? And it happens, especially when people think that you're
living a certain way. Of course.
They think that you're living lavish.
My job, guys. I'm acting.
It's like,
no.
I got bills,
true.
right?
No, really. And that's the thing. Like, you have to be careful with how you do things. And,
absolutely.
Even with, being an actress, how do you remain authentic?
That's a good question. I mean, I don't think I've done anything so far that has been like so far away from me, where I've had to maintain who I am or anything like that. Honestly, I'll say this. My journey has been one where God has taken his time with my journey. And so things have come kind of slow. There's always periods where I'm able to learn things and then get into like the fast pace, working busy thing. But I'm always I'm grounded because God has taught me and prepped me beforehand. And so with the things that I've done and that I'm doing, God has kind of shaped my walk in a way where I'm always able to look at who I am and to know who I am and to remain grounded in God and in my upbringing and so forth, so on, to where nothing is like blowing me.
Shaking you.
Yeah, it's not shaking me. I've been able to just stand firm in who I am because God has given me time, to not be swayed by, I don't know, the fast pace of the entertainment industry.
So is there a moment in your life where you ever felt like you were lost or losing yourself?
Definitely moments where I feel lost. When things aren't going the way that you're used to them going, right? Because I'm used to things kind of, like I said, God orders my steps. He's
Right.
kind of put everything in place. So when there were moments of dryness, when like nothing was
Like,
happening,
what's going on here?
it's like,
Hey.
what is going on? You know, typically something is always happening.
Yeah.
And I felt lost in those moments, like, this is not normal. This is not how it's supposed to go. But then I had to learn it's not about how you think it's supposed to go. It's about you being available for God to show you how he wants it to go.
Yeah.
So that's actually what I've been learning in the moments of feeling lost.
Yeah.
That's a time for you to surrender.
Okay. So let's talk about your social media a bit. So I went down your page.
Did you?
I did. And I noticed that you were producing like a show.
Yeah.
Like a series
Yeah.
on your Instagram. So let's talk a little bit about that. I'm interested.
Yeah, there was like a challenge going on. It was like this 90s sitcom challenge thing happening,
Is
right?
this like in the acting community? 'Cause
No,
I
it was
hear that.
on social media. It was like people were just doing like, oh, this
Oh.
is how the 90s sitcoms go and the music and how
Oh, okay.
dramatic
I
they
remember.
are,
Okay, I do.
you
remember.
know? And I was just being silly at one point and doing one of the videos, and I really enjoyed putting it together.
Yeah.
And I was like, this crazy because this is what I love to watch. This is what I used to like watching. This is what I would love to do. And so I started doing more episodes of it. And I was
So
like,
is
you
it
know what?
it's a sitcom, right?
It's
Okay.
a sitcom. So it's just a short, limited series is what I'm calling it. But just something that I put together. I'm posting some more episodes, and I'm just going to have that there for now because it's been fulfilling me really as an artist.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so with that, how important is it for you to build your own platform?
Very important, especially nowadays. Especially nowadays.
Talk to me about that.
There's so many people. Everybody is doing everything. Everybody's singing. Everybody's acting. You know, it's like when we're auditioning for these roles, a lot of times it's like me and 55, probably to 100 other people that look like me that are also auditioning
Doing
for
the
this
same
role. So it's like it wouldn't be smart to not create and to have your own platform so people see and know who you are.
That's a fact.
Do you know what I mean? And
I am doing that right now.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And kudos to you because
thank you.
people need to see you. They need to know who you are and what you like to do, how you are, you know? And that's kind of why it's important to have your own platform because it shows you. It's like a resume almost.
Okay. And I love that because when I saw that, I was like, okay, this is alignment. Because for me, building my own platform was also in that same regard. Like, you really just cannot wait for people
Can't
to
wait.
see your greatness.
No.
You can't wait for people to realize what you have to offer. You can't sit on your gift and think that
that.
somebody's going to just come and find you.
Yeah, because there's some people are so talented, right? And like certain roles and things like the roles I've done so far, none of them are like some of the things that I like to do. I love like comedy, like crazy, just acting
Right.
silly and things like that. I want to explore that. But if I don't get a role like that, then nobody will know that I can do that or that I like that. So it's important to create your own platform.
I think that is so important also in this time frame because we are in a space where, I mean, when I was coming up, we didn't have social media and I'm not that old. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Make no mistake.
but in reality, this is a fairly new thing.
Yeah.
So much so, you have people that are, you know, acting and getting big gigs and landing movie roles and TV shows.
Right.
All from platforms that they built on their own,
Yeah.
like using YouTube, using Instagram. I think it's brilliant that you decided to do that and it's so relevant. Like, I have friends that are in like Country Wayne skits and they're making
Yes.
tons of money
Yes.
from posting on Facebook, right?
Yes.
So what do you say to those people who are maybe waiting for their big chance?
I was like that also. And sometimes can still be like that. And I have
Okay.
to check myself. It's just about being aware. Don't wait. And don't look at what people are saying or how people respond to it. Just do it. Just do it. Push past the what if this doesn't get any likes
that's
or what
right.
if nobody
That-
likes
okay.
it or because that's a real thing.
That is a real thing.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a real thing. But you have to, and this is me talking to me, you got to push past those
Yeah.
things because if God gave you an idea, that came from God?
Yeah, for real.
Are you going to tell God, nah, I don't think the folks going to like it, so I don't know if I should post that. No, if it came from God, just do it. Do it and at least see it through to just say you did it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you never know.
You never know.
What's
Just see it
behind that.
through.
Yes. And I had to do the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
it got to the point where, my life had taken so many turns that, but acting and, being here and doing this has always been in my heart. It's always been something that I love, and
I can tell.
I feel fluid in it. You know what I mean? But I had to do something.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have a camera. I got a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It's free. Let's make it happen.
Let's do it.
And I think that's what we really have to understand is the opportunities that are out there. And to me, the more you practice going for it, the more you practice, what if it does work?
Yes.
Versus
It may not.
It may not, right? Or the negative, right? But really,
Absolutely.
pessimism is a real thing. It's a
Yes.
real spirit. Okay?
It is.
To think negatively all the time and I just couldn't live my life not taking the risk and seeing what if.
And you have to be aware enough to know when you are housing that type of a spirit.
Yeah.
Because it can feel like, it can feel like reasoning or logic, but sometimes it really is a pessimistic spirit, or a doubtful spirit. And you have to check those things because that's not of God.
Yeah. No,
God
really.
is like, you can do it. I'm giving you an idea. Go forth. Go do it. Make it happen. Just see. Just see.
That is the most important thing. I really hope you guys caught that because that is how I live my life, especially from now on. Just see.
Just see.
Okay? You didn't even know what you might saw.
It's going to do what it's going to do. Just see.
And so I love that. I love that you spoke to that. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I see myself. This is so funny. I see myself in a home. In Georgia. That's the thing. I don't know if I want it in Georgia or if I wanted to be in California, but I see myself in a beautiful home with a lot of land.
Okay.
Gardens and water nearby. That's where I see myself.
That ain't Georgia.
I do like water.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's gonna be Georgia, but I do see myself settled somewhere in a house with a lot of land. Maybe a farm. I don't know how to farm yet, but I would like to have a farm and a garden.
That sounds so peaceful and tranquil.
Yeah. That's what I
Now,
would
see,
really
I'm
love.
a city girl. Okay, I want pollution, loud noises. All right, I want to be safe now. I don't want no gunshots. But
you need
when I moved to
activity.
Georgia, I was like, it was a culture shock for me. Not in the sense of people. I mean, yeah, that too. But I love the city life.
Yeah.
And I'm so attached to it.
Yeah.
And it's become part of my identity. Like
Right.
me being like outgoing and like how I am right now is
Right.
really me.
Yeah.
So a lot of people in the South were taken aback by my personality.
Yeah,
They
'cause
were
we're
just
so,
like, yeah, who is this
chill.
girl? What is going on? Like,
We're
where did you
so
come
chill.
from? Like,
Yeah.
and I was like showing up like this everywhere. And it was just a lot to take in. So it was a real
Yeah.
culture shock for me in that sense. Do you have that kind of feeling when you go from here to other states?
New York is like that for me. There's so much going on in New York. It's just too much stimulation for me. I need grass and trees around me because I'm from Georgia.
Okay.
So I need grass and trees wherever I am.
Yeah.
Living in LA, I couldn't do like Hollywood and like Wilshire, those like really busy.
I know all about it.
There's so much energy going on out there. So I lived in the valley. And it's like you can literally hear when you go over the mountain
Right.
how quiet it gets.
It does.
Yeah, it gets quiet back like in the valley. So that's where I was. And it's too much for me when it's too much city.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's great for a day or so, but after that, take me home. Take me home.
Yeah, I can't say I relate, but I love hearing from your perspective because it's quite different.
Yeah.
And
we
that's
need
what this is
both.
all about, for
Yeah.
sure. That's what this is about, and really just seeing that there are things internally that we are like similar on. So it's been great talking to you. So I have a gift for you.
I love kids.
Y'all know what it is.
What is it?
Let's see.
Okay. I gotta open it, huh?
You do. Birkin.
Thank you.
Yes.
My man. My God. Okay.
So,
Period.
sis,
This is beautiful. Thank you.
Miss Kiandra, I would love for you to share with us what does that phrase mean to you?
My God. Ooh, Woo! What does that mean to me? My everything. My life source. That's what that means to me. Right now I'm in a space where I'm learning how to lean on and depend on my God more so than I ever have before. And I'm really learning and seeing God's mind and God's heart in this time.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful time. It can be painful sometimes because you have to release a lot of yourself, right? But it's a really beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So.
I love that. And what you just reminded me is that when it says my man, because I keep trying to convince the people that this is not a man bashing t-shirt, okay?
Oh, no.
But what it's sharing with me, and I'm glad you didn't get that, is that my man does not necessarily mean my boyfriend or my husband or my significant other, but it can also mean man, meaning people in the flesh, right? Meaning I'm not depending on any fleshly beings for any of my blessings.
Absolutely.
Or any of my rewards or anything that's good coming to me. I'm not depending on a man or anyone in the flesh.
Right.
I'm depending on the higher source.
Right. Yeah.
And one thing that I like to say is that men, people are not the source. They are a resource.
Absolutely.
Right? They are the ones that are vessels to fuel or to bring about whatever blessing God already has for us.
Right.
So I love that you brought that perspective out because everybody here has given a different take
On
and,
that?
Yeah, and
Really?
that's what I got from you sharing what that means for you.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that, and I hope to see you wearing it and rocking it really well.
Girl, I love
Yeah,
t-shirts. That's
I
why
love
said
it.
It's so simple. T-shirts and jeans.
Yes. Well, Queen, it has been amazing interviewing you. I am wishing you nothing but great success and blessings. Again, I know that you're going to continue to do well.
Thank you.
And I hope that we can meet again and do this again soon.
Yeah, I would love to. Hopefully I can come to Houston.
Yeah, please.
Texas,
Come to
what's
H-Town.
up?
Come to H-Town, yes. And I will see you there. So please let the people know again where they can find you and follow you on social media.
Okay, you can follow me at Kiandra Richardson. That's Kiandra and then Richardson on all social media platforms. And my YouTube is Kiandra Richardson TV.
Yes, you guys, go check out those series, right?
Yeah.
Tune in. And don't forget, on the episode of the Be Beautiful podcast, do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Share with a friend, okay? Let this episode be a blessing not only to your ears, but to somebody that you know, love, and trust, okay? I will see you guys next time on the Be Beautiful podcast. Ciao.
Bye.
My problems are on Airbnb.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
They come in
You
and
come,
then...
exactly. I can't turn them away, because they paid for the space.
Come on in here and get on out.
Meaning I'm human.
Right.
So I have to acknowledge them. I can't just completely shut it off like they don't exist.